As the Bid War said, top 2 monkeys won. Peter is very excited to play as Gongun, so
yeah, I mean, this is the man I always play, you know? He's bigger, he's better. I think that it makes sense that I will take Gongun. You know, we were going to basically fight over with the 2 characters, depending on who they were going to be, but I think this works out in my favor, so that's exactly what I want to hear. Thank you, Gongun mains, for coming in clutch.
I played Mimi in our practice race last night, so this will be alright. So a little bit about what exactly this is. This is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe in SMB2, meaning this is a ROM hack of SMB2 that turns it into Deluxe. And we can explain a bit more about that during the run. This is the Ultimate category, meaning we are going to play almost 300 stages, not quite because of warp goals that allow us to skip some stages, but we play through Beginner, Advanced, and Expert all in a row. It is one of the most complete Monkey Ball categories you could find in the entire series.
It basically includes all the stages from like the good first 3 Monkey Ball. Oh, sorry, Banana Blitz HD runner in the chat. 3 of the 4 really good Monkey Ball games that, like, if you want to play like as many stages as you can from, you know, most of the good Monkey Ball games, this is the one you want to see. Anyway,
I mean, his run was incredible though.
That was an amazing run.
It was a really good run.
Warmed up the audience. We don't even have to try now. We can just like get 120s, both of us, and just kind of laugh and have fun. It's perfect. Thank you for carrying peace.
But I think without further ado, we should probably get this going, right?
Sounds good.
Nice.
Glock, do you want to count us down?
Sure. Feel free to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go!
Good luck, Peter.
Woo! Good luck, Helix.
Yes, good luck, runners.
So the very first thing you're going to see us do is move diagonally. That's called boosting. When you move diagonally, you accelerate faster. It also works in the air. You fall a little bit more slowly when you do it in the air. That's just called air boosting. You're going to see both me and Peter take a green goal here on Diamond, and we skip to stage 4. These different colored goals, the non-blue goals, will skip some stages. A green goal skips 1 stage, and a red goal skips 2.
Mm-hmm. And that's where... Oh, go for it.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, warping is interesting in this category because, you know, it seems like such a long category, you'd skip a bunch of stages, but you actually only skip like 35. You end up playing, I think, 267 stages total here.
Okay, I got greedy on wide break. Had a feeling it was gonna happen.
You know, there were two eras of Peter actually. The first era lived and died by the greedy wide bridge, but this one, I don't know. I've settled down. I've started a family since then, so I actually just like got like a low 52 and lived. It was kind of awesome.
I think you've given me the wide bridge greed.
It makes sense. We traded an internet service provider.
I don't usually do that. That's true.
We live together in like a metaphorical sense. Either way, it's okay. I have many other greedy places where I decide to try and save, like, precisely, you know, 0.1 by not pausing somewhere where a pause would guarantee a finish, so it'll probably come back to me.
Bumpy is a good spot to talk about how weird the collision in this game is.
Yeah, so collision in this game in a lot of ways, you know, it's the closest thing in this game that you'll ever see to randomness or true randomness, because the way that you hit an edge, the speed that you hit an edge at, and the exact collision you get off of it, is pretty much different every time. There's minor ways that you can control it, but it's mostly going to be the same, or mostly going to be different every time. So you'll see that crop up in a lot of places where you need certain collisions to get certain outcomes, and sometimes you don't get as lucky as you'd like to get.
Mm-hmm. And just like in P's run, we do purposely throw ourselves off the edge of the bonus stages in order to not play them. If this was SMB1, we might play them. But in SMB2 and onward, Deluxe as well, you usually have a lot of lives to deal with in challenge mode, so we're never going to have to really worry about collecting bananas in order to live here.
Despite how many levels we're playing, we're not even going to get close to exhausting all of our lives, and if we do, then we have some other problems.
Which is actually a hilarious leap from casual play, because when you first like pull up Ultimate, even as an experienced Monkey Ball speedrunner, being able to finish the run without losing all your lives at some point can be very, very difficult, because there's just so many stages. It's a massive endurance test of a category.
Escalators is kind of mean to me.
I got a 47. I haven't gotten a 50 in years. I forgot what it felt like.
Yeah, escalators is one of those stages where, you know, you kind of need specific collisions for it to go really well, and if you don't get it, then you don't get it. And based on how lucky or unlucky you get, basically, you can get anywhere between a 41 and a 51 on that stage. So lots of variance.
Yeah, like
in races.
Whole like 10 seconds, like maybe 8 seconds in most cases. It's like, it's just enough. Like in a long category like this, you can forget about it, but if you focus too much on it, it'll hurt you. You want to just not think about what escalators did to you.
It's true.
It was the bane of my existence when I ran story mode in this category, so I like that this category so long that I can mostly ignore it. Hide the pain.
Hey,
It's-
Glock. Whoa. Do you want to? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. That was a really weird composition actually. But do you want to explain pausing?
Yeah, so pausing is one of the most fundamental things that you'll see in this run and throughout the whole thing. And basically, this game advances at 60 frames per second, meaning the timer at the top of the screen works also as a frame counter. So by using the octagonal gate of the GameCube controller that both of these players are playing on, and timing inputs based on rapid pausing, you can get really specific inputs and basically recreate tasks in real time. So you'll get to see a lot of crazy stuff, especially later in the run on stages like Chaos and Advanced Extra. You'll see some pretty crazy flashy pause strats used to save a whole lot of time.
I don't know if was that being introduced by someone? I haven't used a pause strat yet. I was just thinking, I might have some outdated strats. Did you end up doing that, Helix?
I was on composition.
Yeah.
I phased out for a second there. I just checked the results of this run, by the way. Turns out we tied the frame. That's what I was doing while I was not in this reality. It makes sense, though. Our races are usually very close.
One thing that I think is really interesting to note is that, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of a lot of people that play this category often, beginner is in a lot of ways the hardest part of the run because there are so many stages, like escalators we already talked about, and there's also a few really heavy pause strats that are really difficult and can break a run if you miss them. So actually getting out of beginner and getting a solid beginner run is in many ways the hardest part of Ultimate, so congrats to both of you for making it look really easy.
Especially if your Glock can start doing curve bridge frames.
Yeah, I kind of wish I'd practiced that so I could do one, pour one out for you in honor. But I have like a sort of visceral reaction when I think about playing beginner curve bridge frames that I just couldn't do it for you. Sorry, like totally considered it, but you're a different beast.
That's okay. I'll keep it as my thing for now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I own it. And why don't you go and find some backups too? It doesn't have to be as hard as it is.
Yeah.
While you're at it. Don't tell other people. I know you can pause frame perfectly, but there's some people who like to pretend that they can't for content.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is important to note about this category, and especially about just beginner within this category, is that this stretch of stages from 20 to 30 has a lot of optional pause strats that I can see that Helix is going for most of them and Petre isn't, which is really interesting because they only each save about 1 or 2 seconds, assuming you hit all of them. So this category really gives a lot of freedom to players to kind of pick and choose which of the really small, minute pause strats they want to go for and which they don't. So you'll see like at a top level, some players go for some strats and others don't. So their routes end up becoming substantially different just based on how, quote unquote, greedy they want to play.
It's very liberating, actually, just the fact that consistency can pay off instead of, strat level. But at the same time, if someone's doing a bunch of little stuff throughout the run, they'll probably save the time of a death eventually. So
Half of
it's
them
one of the more freeing categories.
Half of these small pause strats I found. That's why I'm going for them, because like a couple of them I just invented.
Oh, you have to go for the stuff you made. That's just a law of the land. Doesn't matter how dumb your strat is, you gotta keep going for it. You can't.
Well, I need to
can't
shout
design.
out Steven CW_ for the exam A frames.
Oh yeah, Steven has been a huge innovator in pause technology and innovation in the past couple, this year and the year before. There's been some amazing stuff that has changed challenge mode a lot.
By the way, I'm on curve bridge, and this is a very movement-heavy stage unless you do the frames. But I need to move relatively well in order to get first cycle here, and if I do get first cycle, it saves like 10 seconds.
Very
Yeah,
important strat.
Yeah, it's super important, and it's also really nice in a way because in Monkey Ball 2 in story mode, it's a little bit more precise than it is in challenge mode here, which, not to make light of it, it is still very difficult, but it is also nice in a lot of ways for people that are used to the story mode version. It's almost a nice little step back from that. They can play not quite as greedy and still make it work, which is really nice.
Especially in a setting like this.
Yeah, exactly. Having to worry about having absolutely perfect movement is definitely no fun in this setting.
So I was just playing inertial, and I think I showed the flip side of pausing, which is just how confused and bumbling I may have made Gon look just there, because I think I got a frame that didn't exist, and I thought it did something, and I just sat there for a while, and nothing happened, and I had to finish the stage through like the walk of shame. So that was really cool on my part. But I was supposed to just stand there and then go in the goal, but it didn't work out that way.
I studied up on inertial before this run. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen to me.
Well, good. you know, it's good that we get to see both sides of the coin today. Also, that was a really fast. That sewer was so fast. I didn't even know I could pull back in time to make that work. That was.
Wow, that was
could have been epic.
It was a really fast setup on sewer.
Thank you. I got a speed bump and didn't get zorped on arc bridges. Have we talked in detail about collision randomness in this game yet?
I think I
Zorping,
talked about it a little
casual.
bit, but yeah. So zorping is a phrase that the community uses endearingly, I guess,
Affectionate.
to refer to the phenomenon of hitting an edge where you're expecting to get a bump and just not getting a bump at all. And in a lot of scenarios, like here on the B35 arc bridges, if you just get zorped on that edge instead of clipping over, you will just die instantly, and it's really no fun when that happens because it feels completely out of your control.
I hate to interrupt, but I have to point out the strat. Chad goes crazy
please, we
over
talk
the
about
strat.
it. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
Watch this. Gonna bounce off the background here and fly right into the goal.
Yeah, Veerfield is awesome. It is
Known for
probably
being-
the hallmark flashy strat in this game.
Just a stage massive enough where it just makes sense to touch across the background geometry, which usually has collision, but typically the Fallout plane is close enough that it stops it from doing something like that. But Veerfield is the exception.
Yeah, it's an absolutely wild strat for sure.
That is insane. Wanted to know if there's an opportunity for me to chime in with a couple of donations. We're seeing some stuff come in.
For sure.
I think
Go for it.
Yeah, I think now would be a really good time actually.
Awesome! So, before I read out the donos, I want to let everyone know that a new stretch goal has been unlocked, or it has been opened, and will hopefully be unlocked. The Team Fastest Spurs party game stream post-marathon, where the Fastest Spurs team will go ahead and play some party games on stream. So, remember, when making a donation, be sure to check out the incentives here on the Goals tab and click the dots saying put this towards in the drop down when making your donation. Click ! donate inside the chat. And did you know all the revenue from Twitch subscriptions and cheer bits received during the Fastest Spur Hall Festival will also be donated to Trans Lifeline. Get yourself some sweet PV emotes now, and don't forget to check to see if you have a free Twitch Prime sub available to you. So, for the donations, we got a $15 donation from Wag, who was the one responsible for the Gongon win. Hey, y'all, thanks for a great marathon weekend for everyone coming together to support Trans Lifeline. I heard it's cool to get into last snipes for Gongon. Thank you so much, Wag, for that $15 donation just before the race. And then we've got a $10 dono from Sestar. Says, Helix, you're rocking Mimi. I didn't want to miss this. Both runners are awesome. Good luck. Thank you so much, Sega Star, for that $10 dono. And then from Socks LZ, $20 saying, hello to Helix and Peter from Tungsten and Sock. So glad we were able to stay up to catch this race. Good luck to both of you. Trans Lifeline is beautiful. Or Trans is beautiful. And then a $5 donation from Pinky. He says, why do they call it oven when you oven the cold food and of out hot food? Aw, Ian, so silly. The $5 dono.
What do they call it oven when you oven the cold food without hot food? Huh.
Is that what that was rapping, right?
So we are flying through Extra now. This is Beginner Extra. If you beat Beginner without using a continue, then you get to move on to these stages. Obviously, we did just that. So we're in Beginner Extra. There's 20 stages here.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried that I would use up all my lives, but I still have like 74 left, so I'm doing alright.
I will be doing a ridiculous pause strat here, an alternative. Hopefully I hit it.
You know, something that you wouldn't be able to see from your perspective, you two, you actually had almost the exact same bumpy check outcome. Like, I think you finished within a frame because both of you made a small mistake in the same exact way.
So we both like turned around and went to the backside of the goal. Oh, that's hilarious.
It was really awesome.
The fact that the situation occurred again, we both had the same instinct on how to react to it, like efficiently, is just so funny.
Yeah, it was really neat. Just one of those, you know, all monkey ball players kind of know what to do in backup plans. It's really cool.
I always forget, actually, like sometimes I'll watch a casual player, and I forget, every now and then a speedrunner will have like the dance to the goalpost, but it's like really hard sometimes to rotate the camera around when you end up turned around in front of the goal. So being able to do that naturally is an acquired skill. But we both did it, so that's cool.
You know what we haven't talked about yet?
What's that?
The dynamic we have between Monkey Ball 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter is a Super Monkey Ball 2 specialist, and I'm a Super Monkey Ball 1 specialist, and of course this game combines both games with some exclusive stages. But there, you will likely see Peter do better on the Monkey Ball 2 levels, and I'll do better on the levels from Monkey Ball 1. That's just kind of how our races go.
Yeah, and the practice races we've done, it's always, there's splits like World 7 from Super Monkey Ball 2, which it has very difficult stages that are also exclusive to Super Monkey Ball 2. And those ones, like, I have a lot of practice with, but I'll still fail them somewhat. And then Helix will have, like, this first split of Expert, which is dominated by extraordinarily hard SMB1 stages. That's where these paces go back and forth. Although I think if I've glanced correctly, we've been like on remarkably similar pace a couple times throughout this run already.
Yeah, you're within 2 levels of one another pretty much this whole entire time.
I kept like finishing a stage, and then Helix would say, "All right, I'm gonna explain this stage." I was thinking, well, I guess I would have explained it, but there it is.
Also, Helix, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't mention how awesome that waiver was. Waivers like that just don't happen very often.
That waiver was so good,
Really
right?
good. Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention how awesome.
Wait, what time did you get? Like a 29?
29.71. Yeah, it was.
It was very good.
I was not representing beginner folders very well right there. Sorry, Nick. That
was
was
a good job.
looked like story mode for a second.
You didn't die, and that's all that matters.
Oh, this one was awful.
You weren't looking at my gameplay. You were looking at Helix's, weren't you?
Oh, did you die and then?
You don't even. I
finish
died
slow?
at a 48.
I looked
You
over
never
at the
pay
slow
attention to
finish.
me.
I looked over at the slow finish and just figured that was what you meant. I didn't know you died and got slow finish. I didn't think it would possibly be.
Well, yeah, I
that
only did a slow
bad.
finish. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, what? What are we talking about? Oh,
So,
And I didn't do any better. I got 44 folders.
that's what I'm talking about.
something that's really cool actually is that the last stage in beginner, I think in a lot of ways, is one of the hardest stages in beginner because you use a really, really precise collision to get a huge bounce, and it's one of those that the stage can look random, like the blocks are randomly generated, but they're definitely on a fixed schedule, and we abuse that pretty heavily.
And just the fact that you can do what we do there without pausing is one of life's greatest mysteries, actually.
Yeah, do we know who originally found that strat?
I think you talked about this once, and we just went nowhere from that. I just don't think we know exactly. I imagine it was an IL at first.
I got clipped. By
No,
the
actually, I think IL's got faster than it before that strat was discovered. Actually, never mind.
There we go. 16 beginner, still not bad.
Yeah, finishing beginner in less than 16 minutes in a marathon setting is super solid. And come to think of it, neither of you have had like horrifically bad, mistakes like dying on a waiver or dying on curve bridge or something like that. So
I essentially made sure to practice swirl a lot. That was like the one stage that could have created like a comboing experience of terror and pain. And so I got that first try. That basically confirmed I was going to PB this run. So well
so
on my
now
way.
we've now transitioned into the advanced stages, which is pretty cool because I think advanced in a lot of ways is easier than beginner, which is really cool. Kind of counterintuitive, but definitely what we want to see.
I think I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think some of like the simpler designs to stages for beginner can sometimes open up to where we have to do strats that very heavily rely on precision or even like collision. Meanwhile, advanced, the stage is already kind of made to be played fast, so it works out.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm with you on this until we get to advanced extra. That's where things fall apart for me very often.
Yeah, I've definitely been quoted as saying that the stretch from A61 to AX20, so the last 30 stages of advanced, the last split of advanced, and then all of advanced extra is where good runs go to die. Because it is a stretch of some brutal stages where if you miss them, there's a stage where if you miss the strat, you lose 40 seconds straight up, which is just horrid.
Yeah, it's more so the fact that the stages were not trying to be fast, which is why they've chosen to be very cool speedrun strats, but also very punishing failures. Especially since Deluxe stages have this weird tradition of not killing you. They don't let you die. They often just trap you in them. Instead, like if you die, you can just restart and do the strat again. But if you don't die, then you just have to keep walking.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's one of these coming up in like 70 stages. We'll point it out.
Yeah, it is the bane of many players' existences.
Ooh, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out Haruki here for these choice frames.
Choice frames are awesome.
I remember that very clearly. I have a very personal connection to those choice frames because I remember Haruki said hi, like in my chat. Haruki's a Japanese runner who's known for, I didn't get collision on jump ramp. Shout out to collision. Anyway, Haruki is a well-known Japanese strat hunter, very excellent at finding fast and flashy pause strats. And Haruki just happened to say hi, like hanging out in my chat while I was streaming this game early on, while I was learning the run. And I think he definitely watched me die repeatedly, choice again and again, trying to rapid buffer the wire. And then the same day, choice frames came out. And I was thinking they were for me, weren't they? They were a gift.
He's all about finding not only flashy and good and useful, but also very practical for the people playing the game.
Yeah, you just end up having a nicer, comfier time going through the run while going fast.
I think the next pause strat you'll see that he discovered that's really, really flashy and really cool is on inchworms, actually. I assume one of you is going for the red gold inchworm frames.
Oh yeah, he likes to go for it. I would have relearned them, but I forgot.
Oh no, now I have to hit them.
You don't have to hit every single strat that I forgot to learn in order to show
Yes, I do.
Okay, alright.
Yes, I do.
Never mind. You got it. Not saying you can, I'm just saying, you know, if you don't want to make me look like super uncool, you could stick to, you know, baby strats. Like birth, for example.
Thank you. Oh, Cliff. I have to get the specific clip on Cliff, otherwise I get to play the whole stage and go all the way around, and it's very slow.
Yeah, the clip on Cliff is much more precise than it looks.
Yeah. But you see, that's what happens when you get it. It's a very nice strat.
Yeah, it lets you skip a stage that takes upwards of 30-40 seconds.
We've been playing. We played a stage recently that takes upwards of 30-40 seconds. What stage are we talking about?
Cliff.
Cliff?
Yeah, if you do Cliff normally, it takes about 30 to 40 seconds.
Wow, I haven't played it normally in a long time. Actually, I don't think I even played it normally when like I was playing it casually when Deluxe M2 came out. I think it was just so tempting of a skip that I couldn't help but just do it immediately. So I didn't even know that stage is that long. That's funny.
Also, you two are definitely within 15 seconds of one another right now. This is awesome.
Ooh. Oh, dungeon. I didn't die while I got movement time loss. I wanted to get a 30 to 43.
I'm stuck in bonus grid. This could last many. Oh, it's over. Okay.
Good.
This could last many a decade. The SMB1 bonus stages, unlike a lot of the SMB2 bonus stages, actually make you work very hard to escape them. You usually have to do a setup correctly in order to do it.
Yeah, it's really funny that there's a number of bonus stages in this game that are shockingly precise to get out of. You know, Paraboloid, Bonus Basic, and Bonus Grid all come to mind.
Yeah, they wanted you to play them. In SMB2, they didn't.
Stages. Wait, what?
Who? Where?
You're gonna see Paraboloid here in about 40 stages, and that one...
Yeah, don't hold your breath. 40 stages does take a little bit of time, even if you're speedrunning. So probably less than 40, because we are taking warp goals, right? As long as I remember to take the warp goal on Mad Rings, which I've remembered 1 out of 3 times in the last, like, 2 days. So, the odds are in my side.
I goal posted on Eden Floor and then had a really strange one.
Wow, yeah, the second outcome was crazy.
Pauseless coaster.
Nice.
Speaking of strats that you have to go for, because you own them. You can definitely pause on that stage. It's Deluxe, you know, it's a long category, but I've been doing that since the good old, age-old, ancient year of 2018.
I'm good. I'm gonna pause.
Late 2018.
I'm gonna pause and miss. Jeez. All right. Pauseless coaster really is the wave.
Pauseless coaster is the bomb.com.
Oh no.
Pauseless coaster was the first thing I did for the pauseless community. Before then, I was just a new gen zoomer who did nothing but pause and make fun of pause haters. I finally made a contribution. Alright, time to play Inchworm slowly. Alright, Helix, now's your chance.
Well, I gotta get there first. I gotta play Gravity Slider.
That's a short stage. It's actually the smallest stage in the game, fun fact.
The reason why we're laughing so hard at that is because in terms of like the actual size of the model, Gravity Slider is the biggest stage in the game by a ridiculous margin. It is like multiple times bigger than every other stage in the game.
It dwarfs Clearfield.
It blows my mind, actually. Just think every single like stage you think of as big compared to Gravity Slider.
So here I'm gonna build even more hype for this pause strat that Helix is
Well,
going
no,
to
I missed it, so no, you're not.
Oh no.
I missed the very first frame. I can, if we have time after the run, I'll show it off. But this is one that only works first try because of the way, I don't know, like the cycle's a little bit different or something.
Yeah, the way that stages load in this game, certain stages with a lot of moving parts, like inchworms and construction immediately come to mind. Certain pause strats will actually only work on the first try of the stage.
And coincidentally, those are usually the ones I don't like to practice. For example, beginner curve bridge frames, you know,
that's
from
another
strat. You know, it's much better to be able to load a practice mode and just retry whenever you want to try the stage again. But when you practice those stages, you have to literally like exit the stage, go back in, practice it, and if you fail, exit the stage, go in and practice it.
Yeah,
They're
definitely not
special,
ideal.
inconvenient type of stage to practice. Are you going through the middle on stoppers, by the way? I still have no clue how
Yes.
people do that efficiently.
I have put hours of my life into learning that strat because I had to for SMB1.
Well, hoppers is actually a rare stage mechanic where the pieces, those JAMA bars, I think they're called, are actually not locked to the stage. They follow gravity just like the ball and the party ball does.
Beautiful. 57-23. That's such a good.
Oh,
Wow.
that's what that's
Super
supposed
good.
to look like. That's why you do it. I got 54.
I think I've only gotten 57 stoppers a handful of times in my life. That's one of those stages that Helix is just unbelievably goated at compared to everybody else.
SMB1 specialty pops on.
I
I'll
was
show
so
you.
sick of not knowing it. I was like, I'm going to sit down and play this until I get it.
So weird. You're balancing your own movement with like you're controlling like 3, 4, 5 different things at once.
It's also a mechanic you don't ever see again in the speedrun. Which is even
Yay!
fun. They like used it once and then forgot about it. It shows up in another SMB1 level, but we don't play the part of the stage that has it.
It's a very big level that has a ridiculously obvious skip. Like the most betrayed level ever. Had so much design and stuff going on, and then like the green goal's just sitting there for you to go in it.
Hope you liked that on Chaser, just sort of jump right into the red goal.
I did the same at about the same time actually. I feel like we're close.
Ooh.
I did that like a little bit ago. I'm on reverse.
Yeah,
review. I just went here.
You're still within 30 seconds of one another.
This continues.
This is ridiculous.
It's really awesome. I'm already throwing prayers up for advanced extra because we all know that split can definitely
It can just.
throw a gap in between you two. I'm just gonna hope that doesn't happen.
I'm hoping it does, because really, even if we both succeed at our respective chaos strats, I should definitely have a gap where I fall behind because of the one Helix is going for. Dribbles. The most advanced modern pause strat, have a long evolution for that stage, allows you to basically hit straight into the goal. 2 frames slower than the IO world record, actually.
Oh wow.
So there really is no fast way to play dribbles when we do it in only 2 pauses, which is pretty epic.
And because I'm a little bit worse at it, I'm going to take a third safety pause, but still
I'm
very
remembering
fast.
to use the warp goal on Mad Rings!
Yes!
I don't have to play Kirby options!
Skipping stages is good. These
Oh.
revelations are just being found by Peter right now.
Okay, I guess we're getting the
I
backup
thought
on
I'd
that.
figure it out, hopefully, for this marathon. Otherwise, I would lose a lot of time and not look like a speedrun and stuff. Lucky time. Although I am pretty fast at curvy options and twisters, so, you know, I wouldn't have totally decided right. It just would have been embarrassing. Yeah, but one thing I don't like being, it's embarrassing.
Hey, it would have been more content and more time for people to get donations in.
True. Speaking of which, we have some pretty straightforward, you know, advanced stages around this part of the run. If there are any donations, that would be a fantastic time to read them.
Yeah, definitely. So just as a reminder, we did open up another stretch goal for the Team Fastest Furs party game stream, which you'll definitely want to go and check out. It's a $500 stretch goal, and we're already making our way towards it. So remember, type exclamation point donate in the chat. Click on that and remember to assign your donation to our new stretch goal.
So I got a glitch goal there on Cascade.
Hey!
It was really silly.
We get to talk about glitch goals. That's not a thing you can talk about every marathon.
Yeah.
Lucky. I don't know how they work, so yeah, that's the extent of what I can say about it.
I'll like watch it.
It's difficult to say exactly how they work, but basically what a glitch goal is when you hit the party ball and the goal tape at the same time, usually at a really high speed or from a really precise angle, you bounce out the same way you came in, but the goal tape rips anyway. So it looks like you just bounce off the goal entirely, but the goal tape rips anyway. You get the goal, and it ends up looking really, really weird.
But then in the replay, the goal tape does not break.
Yes, the
Which is funny.
replays, yeah, they're called like corrupted replays because the goal isn't actually broken, but the game thinks that it is. So we're getting into Paraboloid in just a moment here, which is one of the most funny and famous bonus stages ever because there's these giant walls. You actually have to use a really precise strat just to get out of it, and if you mess it up, then it can waste upwards of an entire minute.
It's
I got out.
bad. Okay, good.
with a nice little 46.
Thank goodness. It's not even. It's interesting too because it's not even one of those things where there's much like. It's not even like funny or awesome when somebody gets stuck in it. It's just like, wow, they're stuck here for 40 seconds. That's so unfortunate, you know?
I don't know. I get a little bit excited about trying to rebuild speed. It's kind of like, obviously, as your PB gets better, you have less and less patience with that kind of thing. But I remember a lot of my journey before there was a consistent paraboloid strat when like DX2 first came out, because you can't do the same thing in the original version of Deluxe.
I got that as well.
In this pack, nice. And I just kind of enjoyed, like, yeah, sure, I'd time out like more than half the time, but it was great just the journey, you know?
Do you pause paraboloid, Peter?
No.
Okay, I do. So we saw two different strats there.
Well, what IGT does the pause track get anyway?
I got a 47-26 with it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I got a 46, so I guess like it probably evened out pausing wise.
Yeah, they go about even. It's just a matter of if you want to add the
Preference,
pause in or
yeah.
just go pure movement.
No, the pause strat has backups too, so.
Neat. I'm gonna go for a strat called Green Glow Launchers, or Gronchers, if you will.
Launchers. It's very
Yeah.
hard, very precise, but it does present some pretty serious time save.
Just got it.
Good.
That's all.
That's something that you would be right in choosing not to go for exactly the way I did, but as a story mode SMB2 specialist, it's something you can't not go for.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it, but paused.
Yeah,
And I got
I
complex
also
coin.
go for it. Pause. Wow, complex coin as well. Holy moly. Peter just
Wow.
optimizing right now.
I don't know what else to do on that stage besides like the baby pause. So
That's what I'm doing.
I have no choice.
That's one thing that I think is really interesting about Ultimate too, is that all of the players that play Ultimate have different, backgrounds and expertises within.
Yeah, we all
Pokeball.
have like done like stupid optimal strats that shouldn't be done in Ultimate because we just like the strat or are good at it already.
Exactly. Like Peter is a story mode specialist, so you'll see a lot of really crazy strats that are used in story mode. But since Peter plays so much story mode, he's familiar with it, you know. And Helix is the same way with a lot of SMB1 stages. They'll go for a lot of crazy stuff on SMB1 stages that I wouldn't even consider doing because I just don't have that kind of experience with those stages.
And yet, all of us are capable of like competing in this run because again,
Exactly.
it's just how comfortable you are with the strats to go for.
Yeah, and it all evens out, because we all have our preferences on certain stuff, and we all, get little bonuses here and little hindrances there, so it all ends up evening out into pretty solid competition.
What am I
It's really
doing on
awesome.
spatiotemporal? I need an adult. What? Bonked off the side of the wormhole? Helix, never do that again.
I'd offer you like some adulthood wisdom, but I'm pretty sure all the adults present in this room right now play like children's party games and speedrun them, so you might not get the advice you're looking for.
So this is the splits that we've been kind of hyping up for the last 20 minutes or so about how a lot of good runs can come and die in advanced extra because there's a ton of pausing and a ton of precise movement, and a lot of the stuff, if you miss it, it can cost a lot of time. So I'm praying for both of you to get through this as cleanly as possible, and I'm excited to see what Chaos is as well.
I almost feel like I don't even want to talk during this. No, go in, okay.
I'm polar large right now.
So I guess I should probably explain it before we get there because it's probably smart to do that. Chaos is an absurdly long maze stage, basically a giant labyrinth, and the walls are high enough to where you can't actually throw yourself off. So there's a massive 7-frame pause strat that Helix is going to be going for that saves 40 seconds over finishing the stage as slow as possible, and the only the 2-frame pause strat that Peter's going for saves about 20 seconds over the fastest way to do it.
20.
Yeah, so it has 2 possibilities to skip, one of which, the full skip, is incredibly difficult. And the downside is that if you miss it, like I said, the walls are too high to throw yourself off, meaning if you miss the thing that saves 40 seconds, then you're just eating those 40 seconds, unfortunately.
Don't look at my screen.
Peter getting bullied by Walmart.
Okay. I wanted to just a Black Friday shopping.
No!
People were really pushy and just couldn't get in.
Why me? Why?
Felix is also stuck at Walmart. Oh no. This is the nightmare. This is the nightmare.
Mimi's been a good monkey. She doesn't deserve this.
I tell you, the traffic is crazy.
Black Friday coming up. Everybody be careful. They didn't camp out front of the store, so they didn't get a good spot in line at Black Friday.
I hope I didn't wake anybody up in my household. Go through?
I just want to say that someone in the chat was predicting that I would say something along the lines of "let me in" while I was just ramming my head against the door. Also, I just didn't do UFO frames. Sorry, I'm still reeling from auto doors. I can't think of what Scrapple's to do here.
Definitely needs a little bit of a recuperation from that one.
All right, I had fun actually. UFO is a very fun stage to get kicked around by, so I think my brain's been knocked back into place. Whew. Yeah, auto doors was making sure that me and Helix were properly distanced before going in the store. I think that was pretty responsible.
You're making me laugh while trying to do stagger.
That's what you deserve. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm choking on my milk.
All right, so we got Peter going into chaos here.
I don't even know what the frames are for 51 in UFO.
Okay, so I did get my 2 frames
I
set.
don't know
as
what's
expected.
happening or what I'm doing.
What's going on?
I got a pauseless adjustment on UFO. I can't believe it.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
So, okay, for those who don't know what just happened, I went off of the pause strat and did not know what to do and just winged it and it worked. Oh, I'm so lucky.
I've never finished UFO off strat before. I always try. I always go like, oh, what if I just bounced into the goal? That's never happened.
So now we're seeing Helix go into chaos, going for the full 7-frame skip. And prayers up.
Got it. Last frame's easy.
Alright.
Wow, that's
what we like to
huge.
see.
So both players had a successful chaos. Peter getting his 2-frame strat and Helix getting their 7-frame strat. So that will definitely shorten the gap between them, and also just an incredible showing.
I am so relieved I could cry.
Yeah, that
Just want to say, once again, sorry for putting the pressure on you to show off that strat. I totally made that really tense and clenchy for Helix by not learning the strat myself. You know, we could have had 2 chances to get it. Yeah, wow, I threw you under the bus. Glad you got it, though.
Thank you.
They came up huge.
I am 3 for 3 in marathons with that strat.
You were so good. And at least that works out nicely, because then we can actually compare the 2 strats, as opposed to just comparing, you know, fail versus not fail.
I was behind too, now we're gonna be much closer.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, the gap has, you're exactly 1 stage apart right now, which is huge.
But yeah, I had to walk through a lot of chaos, so you kind of got a taste, like a sample of what playing this cool stage where you like walk in a maze. It's a bit like that, but like longer normally if I didn't pause at all. Like before walking through a maze.
Yeah, it takes literally 50 seconds.
Mm-hmm. It takes like something upwards of a couple minutes if you don't know the route too, which is why you usually time over.
True.
If you don't know where you're going, no chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
The stage casually is awful. I guess unless you like mazes, but.
So something I think is worth talking about now before we get there is that as we move into expert,
What was that?
What happened?
I almost did epic backup on Grid Bridge. My voice was prepping for a hype, you know, a little bit of excited yell, and then I got rejected at the last minute.
Oh.
Anyway, carry on.
I think that something that's really interesting to note is that the beginning of Expert, the very first 10 stages of Expert, I think a lot of people would agree, is maybe the hardest part of Expert entirely, because you have Dodecagon, which is a really uncomfortable pause strat, and Exam C, which is infamous among casual and speedrunners of Monkey Ball, to just be a brutal stage, as well as some other hard ones.
I went too early on Teapot, nobody saw that.
I tried on Teapot too, don't worry about it.
Oh no, what are we doing?
Mine was flashy though, so I have no regrets. It was fun. Did you see that, Glock?
Yeah, I did.
At least I got to grab the bananas before my second try.
So yeah, SMB1 Expert. If you've ever seen a speedruns of SMB1 Expert, like actual attempts, we get stuck in the split all the time because it's really hard, so...
Yeah, it's mostly the stretch from Dodecagon, Exam C, Tracks, and Downhill Hard. Those 4 stages alone are really, really hard for both casual players and speedrunners alike. So,
and then if that's not enough, the 3rd split of Expert in this game throws some more really hard stuff at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Namely, Gears is one of the worst defenders.
Yep, SMB1 Expert is definitely infamous for having a lot of difficult movement strats, and that's no different in this game, which makes it especially brutal in Ultimate because it's so far into the run that those movement strats can become really punishing.
Thankfully, this movement is my specialty.
Yeah, I think Helix is probably in the lead now, because I was definitely... This was exactly how I predicted the SMB1 stages. I've kind of been dying a couple hundred times, so
very,
Perfect opportunity for a
very
comeback.
slight lead for Helix. Yeah,
Okay, that exam C wasn't the best, but still pretty good.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
on exam C. How nice.
got through exam C clean, and that is all that. That's all a person can ask for. The stage is so brutal.
Shaky exam C, but looking like we're living. Nice 36. I'll take it.
I'm pausing tracks because no. Collision can be really mean to me, and I'm not going to risk that.
Beautiful party ball. A good friend. Cost me a couple seconds. Didn't cost me a couple years. Thanks to help on
Alright.
skeleton.
I'm going to terrify Glock on downhill hard.
Oh no, going for your high 19 on this stage.
Mid 19. 19-3? 19-3.
19.3. That is awesome. Downhill hard is definitely a stage that you can go very slow on to ensure that you don't hit the bumpers and die. But if you push forward as much as you possibly can and make it as scary as you possibly can because you're crazy, then you can get some good times like a 19.3.
Oh no, I don't know this wormhole back up. I'm just going to go for it pauseless. Oh, I almost got it. that would have been hilarious.
I'm getting word from chat that the game audio has cut, by the way, to hosts.
Whose game audio are we using? Okay. Awesome.
There's what wormhole pausing should look like.
Yeah, I just made that downhill hard stage people were talking about.
Is it hard?
I got an 18, so I imagine it's easier than you were making it for yourself.
Oh, cool.
I was trying for a 19, though. I did want to step it up, but I got a high 18.
So yeah, we saw Helix go for the pause strat on Wormhole to clip up to the goal, and Peter is infamous for being a line anti-pauser on that stage.
Here I go.
Maybe
I got it. I got a pauseless first try. Every time, 70% by the way.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's a huge meme in SMB2 is that that clip works 70% of the time, according to Peter.
What do you mean huge meme?
But seemingly every time he gets to it in the run.
What does he mean by this? every time, presumably every time, you're throwing out a lot of numbers. You're throwing out a lot of statistics that I don't think I agree with personally. If you think that I'm not getting it close to 70% of the time, you haven't been paying attention to the literature. I'm gonna get a 46 jump machine just to show you that I'm better than your weird criticisms.
I would be all for you getting a 46 on jump machine.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
Honestly, I had before that too. I got a 41 and I'm lame. Don't be lame.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be better.
Got
it! Oh, high 45! Gross. Ugh. Sorry, now I lied. I said I was gonna get 46 and
that was awesome anyway. Even going for the 46 strat in expert is incredibly ballsy and really, really cool.
It was a cycle. I don't know how. I guess I just got really high hit. It was like the slowest possible 46.
Really
I didn't know you could get a 45 actually by going for that cycle. That was a surprise to me, which is why you responded. What just happened in combination?
Speaking of cycles, I just got the hardest cycle on Gears. At least the hardest cycle. I don't know.
Yeah, Gears is definitely one of those really punishing SMB1 movement stages that Helix just has some unnatural ability on. But that stage is absurdly difficult. I definitely struggle with it a lot, and I think I'm not alone in that.
By the way, I was only able to pull off that jump machine because Block did a good job of finally pressuring me to get good at expert.
True.
So I made a point of doing that recently, and that's a pretty significant part of this run is the expert portion. So glad I did that.
God, I love SMB1. I'm gonna go play SMB1 after this.
Oh, you would. Why don't you play Super Monkey Ball 2? There's no such thing as SMB1.
I did. Played a lot of Super Monkey Ball 2 lately.
Oh, I thought I was on advanced destruction. This is crazy.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, I died too. I was gonna play on the stage and look like I had a plan and control.
Yeah, that's definitely something worth noting is that destruction in expert and invasion in advanced look almost identical, but they are completely different in how they're performed. So you'll see really good players mix them up all the time, myself included.
I've done it in SMB1 all
They like when you start, you have to just know which category you're in. I don't think you can just like look at the stage and like get a really clear sign of which one you're on.
Yeah.
Also, I maybe should not have gone for 3 cycle tram, but I wanted to show it off. So.
Yeah, I mean, you got a second try, which was awesome. 3 cycle on that stage is definitely super hard. I kind of sound like a broken record when I say it's a really difficult movement stage from SMB1 that Helix is really good at.
Typically, just to give SMB1 some credit, typically an SMB1 stage is a very difficult movement stage. like as
Yeah.
a rule of thumb.
Yeah,
Especially
SMB1. Yeah, SMB1 definitely has some tight like cycle-based movement stages that you have to catch.
Was I getting is 22 the good tram cycle? I heard
20
20 cycle. I've never counted.
23 is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you're slow, by the way.
Yeah. At least I'm not dying at swing bar long.
Oh no, punch seesaws. This is another stage where Collision can just throw me wherever it wants to.
So one
Have you
thing I'm
considered
actually
being
not-
thrown towards the goal?
No, apparently not.
Oh well, try it. It might
I
work.
will. Okay.
I see some good results. Ooh, one pause on paper. What? Sorry. I almost died.
What? Okay.
It looked like
Wow,
origami.
punch seesaws was insane.
That's so stupid.
That was baffling.
How did
One thing
how
I'm
was
actually-
how was it solved in the end?
One thing I'm actually unsure of, Peter, do you rapid pause on tiers or do you do the 4 strat?
I do the 4 frame and I do the rapid pause and I missed the 4 frame.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was aware.
I only go for the rapid pause because I hate retrying though. I'm pretty sure I rapid pause it so slowly that we'd just be better to die. I'm not a good rapid pauser. Oh, we're having a crazy punch seesaws. Actually, I can back this up so safely and casually that it doesn't even matter.
So those tier frames are very important.
Yeah.
There are like a handful of people in the world, maybe not even that many, who can do red wires even somewhat consistently. It's so difficult for like no reason.
Yeah, and we need the red gold to skip stages, so we need a way to get across there. So there's a 4-frame strat found by Haruki, I believe, yeah?
This stage? Or this
Yeah, for story
story mode? No. Hold on.
Red gold.
Yeah, I know. This run is a bit ridiculous. Strap yourselves in, because we're not even close to done.
Yes, me and Loki the Fox worked on these frames for 99 bananas.
Really? I didn't
Story
know.
mode, yeah.
Oh.
Story mode 99 bananas is a category where we get a lot of bananas, and that red hot wire has a lot of bunches on it, so that's where that strat originated from.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I'm sorry you have to use a 4 frame in your deluxe ultimate runs, but that's all we could find. It's really hard for some reason in story mode.
So interesting here, Peter has a chance to get a really precise movement strat on Spiral Bridge here to catch it first cycle. Helix unfortunately got a really wonky clip at the very bottom and wasn't able to make it happen, but that's just Collision being Collision, and
Got
Peter
it.
successfully hit the movement, which is awesome.
Yes.
That saves a full 10 seconds and also shortens the gap between these two players once again. So we still got a close race about halfway through the base 100 of Expert, so we're rolling right now.
And that one's funny because unless you started with deluxe, it just feels so weird and wrong. It's like not. I don't even know if it's functionally different, but the backdrop. There's so many World 7 like cues I feel like I use usually when I play Spiral Bridge, so it being in the World 4 backdrop makes it very difficult.
Yeah, no, I swear it's harder. I don't know if it's because of the walls or what, but I swear it's harder.
So just really quick, I want to say thank you so much to Saren for the 100 biddies. As a reminder, all Twitch subscriptions and cheer gifts received during the fastest first ball battle will be donated to the Trans Lifeline. Get yourself some sweet PV bits now, and if you please don't forget to check to see if you've got a free Prime Gaming sub available to you.
Get those Prime subs out, if you have any.
Prime Gaming.
Also, I had a really fast wine time. 2883 is like a really good.
This one might be my ILPB actually. I've been going nuts. Gotta get the ending. 2856. Never mind. I've gotten like a really nice clip ending before that like has carried my ILPB of high 28. Oh well, I always go for it, but I don't know how to end fast on that stage. Oh, I'm bouncing on windy slide right now. This is awesome and fast.
That was not the frames on Twin Cross, and I improvised and it worked anyway. It's the second
Wow,
time.
yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Things like that are really rare in this game, where you miss a pause strat and then you just wing it and it works for some reason. Like, pause strats are meant to be super precise, so when you just wing it and it works, it's incredible.
I have a
But
habit of doing absolutely. Why am I not holding up at the start? What am I doing? This is not SMB1. I have a habit of doing absolutely ridiculous off-script things in the middle of marathon runs, and they just work for no reason.
Yeah, something about going for like a YOLO after missing a pause is like definitely a very rare thing. We know it happens enough that we don't like we could save time on average probably by just like throwing ourselves off the edge after. But for most stages we just try no matter what. Something epic might happen and then we'll just save it.
Yeah, and when it does, it's super awesome. So,
One of the
Worth
most
it.
exciting things around this game, or watching it.
I should actually
Again,
point
lots of
out.
collision on conveyor parts.
I should point out also the difference between SMB1 and SMB2 cycles, or deluxe cycles rather. I don't remember the exact details, but I know in one game the stage parts start moving sooner, and so it throws off the cycles a little bit, and sometimes I can get them mixed up in my brain.
Yeah,
That's
like
exactly what happened to me on conveyor parts.
a lot of the movement-based stages, and like Helix said, ones that are based on cycles are just different enough to where the strat is completely different between the two. So knowing both, like Helix does, can be a bit of a task.
Yeah, the biggest example is on Quake, where in SMB1 you have to go right away, but in SMB2 you have to wait like 3 seconds. Or in Deluxe.
So I think that I wouldn't be out of line saying that this split here, 50 through 60, or the washing machine, is one of the most difficult and punishing splits in the run. You've got some difficult pause strats, some difficult movement strats, and infamously double spiral, a stage that is
Devil
nightmarish.
spiral, if you will.
Spiral. My arch enemy.
It is an incredibly wonky, precise movement stage that can give you some really, really bad collisions that just kill you instantly. There are things you can do to manipulate it and make it better, but overall, you know, it is in a lot of ways a crapshoot.
So I accidentally unpaused on Flock, and doing Flock pauseless is one of the worst things you could ever subject me to, so I refuse to do it. So I just tried again.
Yeah, on the topic of stages where you would just YOLO if you miss the pause, Flock's not one of them.
Yeah, not
The
by
odds of
any
getting
means.
anything remotely like useful or usable from that stage is very low. That's why the pause is
Oh.
one of the first, literally the first and most important pause
Yes.
strat.
Okay, first try double spiral is huge for
Invented.
me. This stage is really mean to me.
Wow, yeah, that double spiral was scary all the way. You had a ton of speed and managed to slow down just in time before you fell off. So that was awesome. First
I
try
had
double
to
spiral.
use a backup frame on Flock, but I managed to pull it off. That one's a little bit scuffy, so I feel
Yeah,
happy
the
that I
point
managed to get that.
The 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's always a little bit spooky.
Back when I didn't understand this game, I got it every time, but now I think about it and then I die. Wow, I almost died on double spiral just because I kept getting speed bump collision. Like I was just like accelerating towards the edge for a while and barely lived.
Wow, yeah. Holy
You did
man.
live.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
So
double first
both-
try, double spiral.
Yeah, that's something you won't see in many races ever, is both players hitting double spiral first try, because only so much of it is within your control. But that is awesome to see.
So we have curvature now, which is the stage starts off very easy, but the ending is extremely difficult because of how thin this wire gets. You'll see.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that the beginning part is so long, because if you die at the very end, it costs upwards of 30 seconds, depending on how long it takes you to die. So it can be a real deal breaker if you die on the
Okay.
end.
I took that so slow because you reminded me that I would lose 30 seconds, and I really did not want to do that.
Sorry, I probably should have waited until you were done with it before I said that.
Yeah, even like talking about like just.
I'm the one who reminded everybody, so I can't blame you.
Yeah.
Of the two outcomes, actually, though, not dying was the better one for what could have happened by Glock. Just
Oh
talking a
yeah,
lot
no,
about it.
I would take a 36 over dying any day of the week.
All right, I'm gonna go for a 37 to save time over Helix.
Do it.
Fun.
Get a 38, why not?
What? You want me to die?
Maybe.
Rude. All right,
No.
save a second. That's gonna be the comeback second. If I beat it by a second, if I beat Helix, chew. I had a sentence, but let's blame the sneeze.
It's gone. Right.
Thank you for the gesundheit, though, chat. Much obliged.
I'm gonna not go for the last cycle skip on Speedy Jam because I don't want to lose 15 seconds. No, thank you.
Yeah, I would never consider going for that in runs.
Yeah.
Not to,
Here's
like,
what
you know-
we're talking about.
Inflict psychological damage, but I have been been hot on your tail for a while, Helix. You better keep playing well if you're trying to stay in the lead.
I'm aware. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think another thing that is important to mention is that the next split, actually, 70 to 80, has a lot of really precise tricks, and ones that I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Peter has a ridiculous amount of experience with it. So if there's a split where I could see a bit of a comeback happening, 70 to 80 is definitely one of them.
70 to 80, and also perhaps expert extra.
Yeah.
SMB2 portion.
Yes, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will feature one of the hardest strats in the run from me, Strata, which
Yeah.
I need to get first try to actually get the results from, so that'll be a high pressure scenario.
Yeah, Strata is really interesting because it is one of the hardest strats to perform, period, is the fast green goal strata trick. And there is a slower trick that gets a 47 instead of a 53. So what's interesting is if you do the slower strat and get it first try, you save time over the fastest strat second try. So you actually only get the time save from the fast strat if you get it first try. If you get it second try, you're officially losing time to the slow strat, which is, it adds a whole new dynamic to it.
And you're gonna
dynamic of, wow, the person who's going for the fast strat really has to get it, huh? This sucks.
Yeah,
But then-
you're gonna see me going for the slower strat.
Yeah, that's what I think is interesting, is that dynamic exists and we're seeing it in action because one player is going for fast and one player is going for not as fast.
We've seen that on a few stages at this point. Oh, good entangled. Let's go.
Wow, yeah, that's huge. A good entangled path always feels so good. One of the hardest stages in this split, for sure. Reminding Peter to not forget about green vortex frames. I saw you do one of your warm-up runs.
Good thinking, good thinking. You saw that on my warm-up runs?
Yeah, I saw you miss green goal frames in one of your warm-up runs.
I think I might have gone for epic vortex, and was hoping for a green goal. It's a trade-off.
It's a good reminder either way.
It's a good reminder, but I swear, you know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna go for epic vortex once. I'm trying to get green goal with it.
Peter, no.
You asked for this.
Really good split on my end.
All right, just got it. Pauseless green goal vortex, 52-21.
Wait,
Seriously?
Yeah, there you go. That's what you get for making fun of me by saying, "Oh, this guy's like this forgetting he's going to blue goal. He just wants to go in the blue goal because Peter's incorporated."
that is absurd.
That's so rare. Y'all have no idea.
I was gambling on luck. I was hoping the raw confidence would align the stars or something. Real stuff.
That is absurd.
Alright, can I combo it with the shaft skip though? I got no
wait,
blues.
you go for IO?
The blocks.
So the thing Peter did at GDQ.
Yeah. But I didn't do it this time. So that one, but less successful. Oh, there was totally collision that got me. I was setting it up perfectly. Oh wow, where was my speed on serial jump? It was in the alternate dimension where I played the level right. That's all.
I feel like it's marathon ritual for a commentator to say something like, "This is where one player can get a bit of an advantage," and then the opposite happens. So shout out to Helix for proving me wrong for the 6th time this run so far.
I had a really, really good split.
Yeah, it was
in my defense, that was one of the best splits I've ever had there. It was really good.
Oh, you've been schmoovin'. My vortex saved 10 years back, so it should be even again if my math is correct. I didn't pause, so I saved at least a second.
Oh, I should note too that this is the only category you ever see green goal serial jump in. In vanilla SMB2 expert, you take a red goal because it doesn't bring you to checker like this one does because of the way the stages are laid out. And of course in warpless you would take the blue goal because you're not taking any warps.
Yeah,
So
it's
only in Deluxe do you see green goal.
Yep, because we want to maximize the amount of warp stages we take. So we take the green goal, which takes us to checker, which has a red goal. Whereas if you take the red goal on serial jump, you don't get to play checker, and you don't get to skip the extra stages. You'll see it again in Master. On the stage Striker, we take the green goal to go to Planets, which has a red goal, instead of taking the red goal on Striker.
Yep, but that's not quite as unique because that happens in vanilla SMB2 as well.
Yeah, yep. Those are the only two situations where you take green instead of red, but the serial jump one is really interesting because it's the only time you ever see that happen on serial jump.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the best way to play a stage. I hate blue goal and red goal. It's just a falling strat. Green goal is
really cool.
Mobius. Cool bonus level, I'm told, but no.
Told.
I'm told. I haven't seen it in a while. I think it spins and it's a Mobius strip or something. I don't know. Any science fans in the chat?
So I think there was a lot of truth in what Helix said just a little while ago, that Expert Extra could very well determine who wins this race, because that split is absurdly punishing, much like Advanced Extra like we were mentioning earlier. So both players are going to have to be on their games if they want to win it.
Yep, the first 10 stages of Expert Extra are it's my most hated split in, well, I want to say no, probably not any monkey ball game, but it's up there.
Yeah, there's some brutal ones in there.
Oh, I one-paused the green gold chip pipe frame. Nice.
Ooh.
I wasn't even trying to. That was scary. I don't even know any backups. Does the weight work? Who knows?
I played way more safe on that one. I think 08 works. I don't know. Luckily, I didn't have to find out.
So will either of you be pausing on charge, by the way, just so I'm aware?
Yes.
I will not be, no.
Okay, cool. So that's actually pretty ideal for
Yeah.
the talking point aspect of charge has a pause set. It's a 4-frame strat that guarantees first cycle passage over to the goal, and it actually loses time to the fastest possible completion pauseless. But doing it pauseless relies on some pretty precise collision, which I'm sure you've gathered by now. We're an hour into this run. Collision is not precise at all in this game. So that'll be interesting to see how the pause strat that Helix is doing measures up to doing it pauseless as Peter is, because if Peter gets really fortunate outcome, then he's definitely going to save some time there. And if Peter gets a really unfortunate outcome, we could see him lose quite a bit.
Cool. I like the first one. I choose that one, please.
Yeah, I'd like to see some time save.
Oh, 5375 twin base and Shasta complex plane.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah.
I actually earlier I didn't know how to explain it, but I was playing crossbars and I accidentally clipped along the way and saved time with the clip. Like usually if you mess up crossbars you don't save time, but I messed it up and saved like 0.5.
Yeah, charge, super safe.
But you still got it, and that's what's up. People got to see what it looks like to get the first cycle with the pause strat, which is super neat.
Alright,
And now, like we were saying,
Yes.
Helix is going for a safer strat on Strata here, gets it first try. That's another situation where Peter is going to be going for something a little faster, a little more precise, but if he hits it, then there's going to be some more time saved there. So
I don't know these frames on Giant Swing. Okay, absorbed. I should learn that backup stat. I don't know why I haven't yet.
I'm getting an unfortunate scenario on charge. This is probably the situation where Helix should save time with pausing. Got a 44.
yeah,
Not the worst case scenario.
I saved a little bit, but not very much, especially with how slowly I took that pausing.
Yeah, just a couple seconds probably.
Here comes Strata.
Strata, one of the hardest stages in all of Monkey Ball.
First try.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. That trick is unbelievably hard. I feel like that's one of those tricks, every trick in Monkey Ball is true to some extent, but I think that one really does not look as hard as it is. That trick is absurdly difficult. Getting that first try is pretty nuts.
There's a reason I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I got Giant Swung.
Hey everyone,
that was
we have an
fun.
opportunity for a donation.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So we got a $150 donation from Team Fastest Spurs just saying, hey everyone, thank you for all of your support this weekend. This is the first chunk of the sub fees and bits headed directly to Transline. Let's keep that total going higher and set a new marathon PB.
I'm gonna say again, if anybody gets any Prime subs, free money to charity.
Seriously. It's a free donation.
Money to charity, yeah.
Also, Expert Extra for Split went quite well for me, and I have on pause on Blurbridge. I shouldn't have spoken.
Yeah, so we're really nearing
Gosh.
the end point of this run, which is interesting to consider because Peter still has a little bit of ground to make up, and I know he can, but we're running out of stages here. And I'm really interested to see how the end of this race turns out because it is still very, very close.
I didn't even know there was that big of a gap on construction.
Definitely deceptively large.
No, I just want to make sure I get button collision, but I'm slowing down too much. I'm playing scared. Give me button. There we go. Okay, I'm out. I haven't practiced the backup in a while, and you kind of need that frame strat first try.
Yeah, that's rough.
I am now doing the classic construction strat.
The wall strat. It's so beautiful. I love it.
You get to hang out on the wall for a while.
That construction strat you saw from me is another one of those pause strats invented by Haruki.
Yes.
And it's very flashy. It's very helpful. It's actually something that for a while was we only had a pause strat for it for PAL because PAL physics are a little bit different. Just the game calculates the physics differently. That's the DLER of it because of like the frame rate of PAL games. Like that's the explanation. But that makes some strats a little bit different. And for the longest time, we just didn't have construction frames And I was like, I'm finally going to find these. And I went and found them. And then Haruki looked at them and was like, these can be better. And then Haruki just destroyed me and came up with a bunch of backups and a better set. It was amazing.
It's an honor to be decimated by Haruki.
Yeah. And that really is something that happens a lot, where somebody will find a pause strat and post it somewhere, and then Haruki will say, "Oh, I can do that, but better," and just one of them. And it's really cool that it happens because we get a better pause strat in the process. But it's definitely
someone gets wrecked along the way.
Exactly.
It's worth it.
Be on the receiving end.
It's so worth it though. We love Haruki.
Yeah, no, worth it to be wrecked for sure. Which is why I think a lot of people like find pause strats where they like know like, oh, now in a current form it definitely doesn't save time, but they post it anyway because that's like the trick to maybe getting Haruki to find something amazing.
Flashy strat alert. We got Daluma pausing here.
Luckily, I can try this one again.
Yeah, Daluma pausing is super flashy, super cool. This hammer will just whack you
Right into the goal.
in the most awesome way possible.
And you get to see the replay too, because this is the end of Expert Extra. I am heading into Master.
I got caught in the middle of curl pipe. You know, I thought I was playing corkscrew for a second there, got confused. Yo, curl pipe, let me in! Let me in! It's supposed to be easy to go inside curl pipe.
Pausing
What's the free backup?
because I'm a baby.
What's going on, curl pipe, please? You gotta let me through here, dog.
So one thing that I think is kind of neat, and I think that a lot of people would agree with, I don't think I'm crazy for saying this, is that Master is made up of 20 stages in this game, not counting extras, and Master 1 through 10 is actually really easy for the most part, and Master 11 through 20 is absurdly difficult. So it's a really cool dichotomy of like, really, like, the Master you would expect every stage to be super hard, but the first 10 really aren't that bad, and the last 10 are just...
Yeah, and we get the dynamic again of SMB1 versus SMB2. Because I'm in SMB2 Master right now, and of course, 11 through 20 is going to be SMB1.
Yeah.
And, you know, like we've said so many times, I am a lot more practiced on the SMB1 stages.
And it's not a coincidence that the second half Master stages are hard. SMB1 decided to really not pull any punches with the difficulty and sometimes unfairness design of some of those stages.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, speaking on unfairness, you have stages like Bridge Master and Dance Master and Stamina Master, which casually are just nightmarish.
Dodge Master, casually, is so stupid.
Yeah, among the hardest stages in Monkey Ball ever, for sure.
Oh, well, I triple one paused Dalama on the second try. That was kind of a cool redemption
Whoa,
from the first try.
that's sick.
I wasn't
good
trying to.
pause.
I was just thinking, okay, take it easy. I was pausing too much and I failed, so let's pause less than I paused the minimum amount. Take it easy.
That's what good pausing looks like, everyone.
Yeah, that's one thing I think is interesting about pausing in general, is because, like, you build your own rhythm, right? Everybody pauses at like their own rhythm and their own comfort speed. So sometimes when you try and tell yourself to pause more carefully, it'll actually make you worse at pausing in the long run.
Yeah, this is what's happening to me. Trying to pause more carefully for marathon safety, and it doesn't always work. What's up?
I was gonna say, if for everyone watching in the chat, if you are loving seeing all of this awesome strats and tech, please really make sure that you are donating to the awesome cause. Fastest First Fall Festival is raising money for Trans Lifeline, and type out exclamation point, donate in the chat. Remember, the Trans Lifeline Microgrants program offers grants for legal name changes, updated name and Twitter markers on IDs, passports, immigration documents, and more. To learn more about this program, including how to apply, please visit translifeline.org/microgrants.
This is a really good cause. As a non-binary person, it's rather close to my heart, too. Also, Stamina Master, extremely difficult stage.
Oh yeah.
That I first tried. Sweet.
Wow, that's huge. Just getting on the like pyramid on that thin hill is really difficult. Keeping your balance all the way up really hard. Getting the clip really hard. Landing in the goal really hard. There's so many facets to that stage, and all of them are difficult.
And now we have what I affectionately call the fruit roll-up. That strat is incredible. I love that strat.
Yeah, fruit roll-up's an awesome stage.
Dance Master is also another really cool strat. 76, and then just sort of do that.
You know, just do that. Do whatever that is.
Roll Master is a joke, but it is a little bit harder in Deluxe because of the way cycles work. Got it. Cool. Last time I ran this for a marathon, my game crashed here. That didn't happen this time, thank goodness.
Let's go.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was
It was like
still
a free
underestimate, if my memory serves.
It was. It was so good.
Mid-game crash. Still finishing on time. That's speedrunning right there. That's why we speedrun. To make time for crashes.
Shout out to Peter for these Bridgemaster frames.
I made those.
Great, I didn't know that. Oh my god, I'm learning things. This is awesome. This is awesome. Wow, Peter got a fast clock face first try. That was awesome.
Ooh, let's go.
You guys are swagging out.
Wait a minute. That was second try.
Oh.
I went for it though, so you know.
Yeah,
Well, you're still swagging out.
Negative first try.
Oh.
Think about it.
I was decimating the split, but then Monkey Master happened.
As it does. Well, neither of us are playing II, so it kind of makes sense.
Good.
They say the only way to get first try Monkey Master every time is by playing II.
That is true. They do say that.
And it's true that when they say it, that it's true.
Alright,
It's not even just true they say it. Like they could say something untrue, but they're also saying something true at the same time.
So Helix is moving into the actual end game with a capital E, the final 10 stages of which you only play 6. Master Extra, which does have some pretty difficult strats in here, notably EX4 Planets, which is a crazy falling strat.
And for me, apparently, Dizzy System, which is 9. Oh no, I have bonked on Striker. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is the other instance we were talking about in which we actually want green goal here, because that would take us to Planets, which has a red goal.
Exactly.
And shout out to Complex Plane, another Monkey Ball runner for this Planet setup.
Yeah, Complex's discovery on Planets was a really big one. Just a full, 1+ second time save on Planets makes a really big difference, not only in this run, but also in shorter runs like Master.
I thought I was in.
I thought you were into that. You got kind of robbed.
I agree with you. Do I need to boost on this? Okay. Wow, that was still a little bit sketchy, but we're in.
Whew, barely.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
There's actually a stage called Helix, which is the very next stage. And if I take blue goal rather, then I'll get to it. But I didn't prepare for that. I don't want to do that. But it's really cool that there's also a stage called Helix. Yeah, okay, well, Dizzy System. I'm really bad at this stage for some reason. It's not, it's a little bit difficult, but it's not that difficult. Okay, I'm gonna drop in on Destiny really soon here. Time for me will be when I cross the goal pick.
Yep.
In vanilla SMB2, you might remember if you've played that, this is actually a GameCube, but because Monkey Ball Deluxe was originally only released on PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and we had to mod SMB2 to make it work for GameCube, basically. They couldn't make it a GameCube, so they had to make it just this,
Yeah.
which is marginally easier, thank goodness. I have many nightmares about choking runs to Nintendo, the very last stage of vanilla SMB2 Expert. And time. Wow, sub 111, that's actually really good, especially for a marathon.
Yeah, that was really good.
GG. Wow, you got a 110?
Yep. 110 at 53, I think.
We were on some paces. I felt like I was playing clean in the early game, so I was curious if we'd end up finishing somewhere sub 115. That's epic.
Now we got Peter getting ready to transition into the very end game as well. Just got to get past II, and not playing as II, this could be a bit of a challenge here.
Well, Gongon is good friends with II. They used to be rivals. I think this game might take place back when they were a little bit less close, though. We didn't get an immediate, second try. This does seem like a frenemy kind of relationship that me and this stage just had. I unfortunately got knocked by the folds of II's t-shirt. Unlucky, but he does wear really firm shirts.
Yeah, he gave you the cold shoulder, literally.
Oh.
That's funny.
Alright, so we've got Peter going into the very last split here.
Okay, I fell through. That was a decision of earliness on that variable transition beyond any other.
Yeah, I think it is probably worth mentioning that variable width the ending is actually a lot more difficult than it looks. It looks like just some simple movement to just move to the side and then move in the goal, but actually timing those turns so that you're there on time, not too early, not too late, is surprisingly difficult.
Ooh, 54 striker. Also, Helix had some strats that they might have wanted to show off if someone was done early, so feel free to focus on Helix's speed if you want.
I do,
Yeah.
but I'm putting in my name. I'm actually just going to type in FFFF for Fest for his Fall Festival.
Alright.
I just saw in the chat that they're $44 away from a new marathon PB.
That is right.
Yeah, and this marathon is not over. There are 2 more runs after this, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. We have a Mario 64 and a Mario Odyssey coming up, and the donation that put us over the $8,000 mark. Thank you so much to Merm2, $50 dono saying trans rights are human rights. Also, a shout out to Modia Strip. Thank you so much, Merm, for that donation.
So, Helix, I think Red Goal Inchworms was one of the ones, right? I don't know what else there
Yeah,
was.
actually, let's do that first. I also wanted to do Dodge Maze.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Red Goal Insurance. Or even is that? No, this is, I'm an expert.
Yeah, it's in advance, so it might be a good place to start.
Yeah, I was not thinking. Hey, I just played 70 minutes of Monkey Ball and my brain's gone. I didn't retry, did I? I guess we'll find out.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
We've got Peter coming up on time here, getting to the top of the dice here.
Mm-hmm. Just to make it a little bit exciting, I'll probably try and go as early as possible to get a slick IL finish.
Destiny IL.
I've come one frame off the record before. Maybe this is the day I tie.
I actually don't think I talk about enough how much I like Destiny more than Nintendo. Not only because it's easier, but also because you can play the end a little bit more greedy.
Yeah, right? Because it slowly folds up instead of like, you have to just time it right or not. And that's side goal.
There's that insurance frame set too.
Yeah, that insurance frame set is so beautiful. It's so nice.
I'm gonna head over to Dodge Maze now.
GG to both of you, by the way. That's
GG,
awesome.
yes.
Both of you finishing. Peter finished with 1:14.04, which is also an awesome marathon time. Those were both.
Yeah, that's best no reset I played in the last couple days, actually. The only thing better than that was the PP I got today, so win.
Okay. Alright, so I hit the 2 frames on Dodge Maze. Now this, well, I'll just explain what happens after, but I'm gonna get basically shot right into the goal. I love this strat so much.
It's so goofy.
Cool.
It's so goofy and so nice.
This happens because of these walls here. This is the only stage that does this, and it's a deluxe exclusive. When you run into this wall, it's like a seesaw, but on its side, so it acts like a wall. And if you run into it fast enough, it spins around rapidly and just smacks you across the stage. It's incredible.
And we unfortunately skipped that stage in the run, which is why we had to show it after. It's like, you could play Ultimate All Levels just for that stage, and you'd be making the right decision. It's worth it.
Actually, just a funny anecdote about that. Me and Helix did an advanced race for a marathon a few months back, and we specifically agreed to do blue goal on hills so that we would both get to play Dodge Maze because that stage is so awesome.
A good decision. We considered it. Why didn't we do it? Oh, I haven't practiced it in a while because I don't have advanced unlocked in practice mode because I never saved my game. That's right. I'm gonna save my game. I'm gonna do it right here, live, in front of the Fast and Furious marathon. I'm gonna save my game so I have these advanced levels unlocked.
You side here, everybody.
In the meantime, we should probably do some shoutouts and start wrapping this one up. Well, I guess I'll go first. I'm Helix, obviously. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Helix13_. Lots of Monkey Ball content. Also some other stuff. Very happy to have been able to do this with Peter.
Yes. And I'm Peter. Yeah, I also stream some Monkey Ball and other stuff. Similar introduction, but we are different people if you check carefully. And yes, thank you for having us. This was a really fun race.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I definitely have more stuff to say. Shout out to Glock. Glock, thank you for commentating. That was really good commentary, actually. You carried at some point.
Talk about yourself, Glock, please.
Oh, hi,
You are
I'm
epic.
Glock. I play this category a lot. It's probably my favorite category ever. I'm pushing for an even better record the next couple weeks. I'm doing it in the marathon next week for BSG. So tune into that. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. All the good stuff. And get more ultimate content from me, if not from these two.
Just saved my game.
Yeah,
We're gonna not have advanced section of practice again. Let's
Huge
go.
clutch.
Shout out to the Monkey Ball, just the community in general. It's been a really great place to be lately. Lots of cool new runners. If you would like to learn this game, hit me up, hit Peter up, hit Glock up. We'll all help you out. Even if you don't want to learn Deluxe or SMB1 or SMB2, like if we can't help you, we can direct you to somebody who can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I also want to shout out Rolled Out. That is a new marble game that's coming out. We don't know quite when yet, but hopefully relatively soon. It's looking really good. Look it up, Rolled Out. I think it's just at Rolled Out on Twitter.
That's right, yeah.
What is their website? Is it Rolled Out?
Rolled out dot something, actually. Rolled out game, I think.
No, you know what? I can check really quick right now. Rolled Out game.
Yes. Wait.
Yeah. Wait, no.
No.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It's rolloutgame.com.
Sweet.
I'm not getting a website loaded, but I guess that's probably because we are all trying to load at the same time. Okay, anyway, yes. Roll.game.com.
Awesome.